Go ahead, take it away, Kiran.
Sure. So who here has a sewing machine and is going to make their mask with a sewing machine? Okay. So some of you are going to make a mask with your sewing machine. Okay, so people who are going to make a mask by hand, while Kiran's presenting, you might want to start cutting your fabric. You need 20 by 20 inches of fabric. It's a lot of fabric, so you might want to start. Just saying.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with a slideshow that I have made, pictures of me with a mask, with me making a mask. This is what it should look like after you're done. So I'm going to be showing you how to do it. So first you want to cut your fabric into a 9 by 15 inches, like this is. Then you should get two shoelaces of around 18 inches. If you cut a shoelace, you will have to burn it, so then you don't have any loose strands like this. And then you want to have your sewing machine all ready to sew. So, Ms. Victoria, should I give them a few minutes to do all these things, or should I just continue?
They would have two options, right, that we talked about. So if they want to do it with you, they can. If they want to watch and do it later, they can. And remember, if you want to do it by machine, you can. If you want to do it by hand, you can. And for some of those that do not necessarily want to sew it by hand but want to donate, you guys can donate masks directly as well. And you can buy them, or and just donate them. You can do whatever works for you guys. So,
okay.
Go ahead.
One moment, I dropped my ruler. Okay, picked it up. Okay, so next we have a photo of it. So if you look, sorry, that was my Google clock. If you look, there should be one good side that has very vibrant colors like this. It's very vibrant, and one that has less vibrant. So if you can look, there's a very big difference. So you want the vibrant side to be on the inside, and you just want to fold it in half. So that way then you wind up with something like this. So that way then you have a half mark thing. By the way, I recommend getting a ruler and some pins, and an expo marker or a fabric marker. Okay, so after you have this, you're going to want to fold down around maybe an inch or half an inch. And then you want to take something, and then you want to make a crease, kind of like how when you do things with paper, you like to make creases so that way it doesn't move. That's what you want to do with the mask. So I'm just going to take this thing, this pin, and I'm just going to go around this folded side so that then it doesn't come up easily. So it should look something like this after you're done.
Hey, Kiran, we can't see you, hon. Put your camera on. We can see your screen, but we can't see you.
Camera should be on.
There you go. Now it's
okay. Now it's on. Okay, good. So you should have something like this. Okay, let me present that again. Okay. So after you're done, as you see in this photo, you see me color, and there are 2 dots at the 6 and at the 3 mark. So you want to do that, so that way then when you sew, you don't cover up a certain hole that we want if you want to put filters in. And even if you don't want to put a filter in, you still have to have that hole, because at some point we're gonna have to turn it back so that way the bad side is on the inside. So you want to mark it at the 6 and the 3 mark, as the photo showed. And here is what it should look like. So now, by the way, that's on inches. Now you want to sew it until the marking. You want to first sew a few stitches forward, then go backwards, then forward again. Then you just want to go to the mark, forward, backward, forward, and then you are done. I'm going to mute for this part because it's very, very loud. So.
And I will add too that when you are learning how to sew on a sewing machine, if you do not have experience doing it, make sure you always have your Akela or your parent or a guardian with you that can help you.
Okay, so I finished up while Victoria was speaking, and now I have my sewed thing on, and if you see, there's a little pocket right here, but it's not sewn in, and the rest of it's sewn in, so you should have something that kind of from the side looks like this, and it should have a hole here. So the next part is kind of complex, so I'm just gonna do it. So what you want to do is there should be like a pocket thing. You want to put your hands in there. Then you want to take the top, you want to line it up with the back, and you want to have it like this, so that way then you have a flap and there's something behind it. Before you had nothing behind it, but now you want to have it so that way there's a little flap right behind there. So then you would like to have something to hold up your mask. So now I'm using shoelaces so that way I can tie it, but you don't have to. You can probably see here me doing that. I'm gonna find one that has this. So if you look, there's an actual outside of the shoelace, as you probably know, and then there's an inside. So you want the outside to be on the outside of the thing, most likely. So you want to put the one that you burned, and you want to put it in, so that way it's only peeking out of it, like so. And then the other one can just hang loose. And you want to do that on both the upper end and the lower end. And I'm also going to clip it, so that way then it will stay in place. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to leave that on the outside. Then I'm going to push this one in to my mask. Then I'm going to clip. So at the end, you should have something that looks like this or like this from that side. Then you want to sew, but I recommend putting the needle in front of the shoelace, because it's hard for the needle to go over it, but you have to kind of nudge it over and everything. So I'm not gonna mute, but because I have to sew, but I will see you when I'm Okay. So I finished it, and now I can show like this, and they won't fall out. So you see that the pocket stayed, and it's like that, and then you just have these things hanging out. So you might want to wrap it around your finger so then it stays, but I'm not going to do that, but most likely you will want to. You want to have it at the very, very bottom of it. So that way then you make sure that you don't sew it in with the next 2 shoelaces that you will do. Now these might be a little bit more complex, but it's basically the same thing except you don't string it all the way through. You just put it to the end. So again, you want this to be on the inside of your mask. You don't want it to be sticking out the side. So you want to put it on the inside.
Someone had their hand raised. I think it was Mia. I'm not sure, but they put it down. Did you still have that question, or did you accidentally raise it? Okay.
Okay. But if you do have any questions, or you would like me to slow down, I can. But there's also a video at the end that I can share with you. Okay, so I'm going to clip it again because I don't want sound to move. And now you should have something that looks kind of like a pocket, except here is still open. So you want to sew it. So I'm going to mute again. Okay, so I just finished with that. I have a pocket thing, and if I hold it up to the light, you might be able to see, but you can see the strings inside. And now, if you look here, you can see the inside or what we want on the outside, because this doesn't look like a mask at all. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take from the inside, and you're going to carefully take all the things that are in the inside, and you want to flip it inside out. So it should be pretty simple. And we're almost done, but we're not 100% finished. So now you have this. And this doesn't look like a full mask either, but if you look here, this is the filter slot. And you want to make a pleat. And if you don't know what that is, I don't know either, but basically you want to fold it up so that way then you have it kind of like a zigzag here, but you don't want to include this in the pleat. When I first started, I tried going like, I don't know, this, and I included it in the pleat. You do not want to do that. You want to exclude it from the pleat, and you want it to look like this. You can't really see it there. You want it to look like this, so that way this is not in the pleat, but right here is the pleat. And you also want it to be kind of far. You don't want it to be like down here, but you want it to be kind of far off from here so you can still put your filter in.
So a pleat, thank you, Shayla. A pleat is a fold.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay, so I pinned it so that way then I can show you better, but also I always pin it. So it'll look kind of like this. So next you want to sew right here. You want it to be kind of close to the edge, but you don't want it to be off the edge. Like you don't want to sew over here because then you won't sew anything. But if you look, there's still shoelaces. You don't have to, but it's better if you do. You sew right on the shoelace. Now, if you burned it, I recommend you don't hit it on the burned end because it won't go through. So now I'm going to be sewing over that, and I'm going to mute again. So let me just go to that slide. Sorry, I forgot to switch. Yeah. Okay, so pockets. Okay, so wait, wrong one. Okay, here. I believe this is the one. Okay, so I'm not going to be doing that. So, oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. Okay.
I think you accidentally turned your video off, Kiran.
I think that what happens is whenever I start sharing, it turns it off. So that's weird. Okay, well, I showed you before I stopped sharing what I was gonna do, but I then did a little bit of sewing. So now I just have half of it, but it should look like this when you're done. So then it's sewn in place. So now I'm gonna do the other side. So I'm gonna be.
Nicole says you're doing a great job. I agree.
Thank you. So now you should have something like this where there's still some strands, but since this is the outside of the mask, you want to cut away at it. Normally I would cut at it right after I'm done sewing it so I don't forget, but since I didn't do that, I'm not going to do that. So you just want to cut away at those excess things. So then you should have something that looks like this, and that's your mask. So I can now present that. Now then you can put a filter in or a paper towel if you don't have a filter, and you can tie the mask on. But also, my mom reminded me this before this. When you are here, I'll stop. When you put the filter in, don't forget to take out your. You don't want to reuse. You don't want to reuse the filter a bunch of times, and when you wash it, you don't want the filter in. So, thank you.
That is great. Did you have it where it ties behind?
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be on.
So something that I thought was really unique, and most people may not know, especially those who do not wear a hijab, but that is actually like the perfect design for people who do wear hijabs because it can go over their mask, and then you could tie it for anybody. You could tie the bottom string so that way it's always sitting on your chest when you're out and about, so you don't forget your mask. So it's not the ones that loop around your ears. And which is also good for people, you know, who wear glasses as well. So I love that you shared that design. You did a great job, Kiran. Yay. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the hand sewn mask. So I haven't finished cutting my fabric yet. I just have to cut around the edges. Has anyone finished cutting their 20 by 20 inches inch fabric yet? You finished?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna finish up quickly.
So Cora, what are you using the material out of?
I'm using an old not mattress, sorry, an old fitted sheet that my mom doesn't use anymore. She's letting me use it. It's really soft, but yeah. So yes.
I love it. You're
You can use any material really, like an old sheet, an old shirt, tea towels. Tea towels work really well. The pattern that I got this from, the New York Times, they recommended that you use tea towels because those are they're not thin and they're machine washable. And most of the time, if you're making something out of a linen, it's machine washable because you have to wash it. But yeah, so okay, almost done. This is the last cut. Okay. So the first step is, so we've already cut out, wait, has anyone not finished cutting their fabric? You can just type it in the chat or raise your hand or something. Okay, so looks like everyone's finished. So what you have to do is, I'm gonna move my camera so that you can see. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our fabric and
Store it.
what? Okay. We'll take our fabric and we're gonna fold it in half. Okay, maybe. Fold it in half like this so that the ends meet. And this is gonna take a little longer than Kiran's because, you know, we're sewing it by hand. So that the ends meet, and you're going to take your ruler and your pen or pencil. I'm using a pen, and you're going to measure out. Let me put in the chat. 9.5 inches by 6.5 inches. So that's 9.5 times 6.5 inches. Okay, and you should have a rectangle. So I'm gonna do that. And you fold it over because we want 2 layers and you only have to cut once. So it sort of saves time.
What if you don't have 6.5 inches? What if you just have 6 inches on the side?
That's okay.
The
That's
ruler
fine.
should have a 6.5.
It's okay if you only have 6 inches. You can just cut off the 1/2 inch from the 9 and sort of make it proportional again. Well, I'm not sure if that makes it proportional, but it'll do something. So let's just measure that. Going with 9 inches here. So I'm gonna wait till everyone. So once you're done measuring, you need to cut out the fabric that you've measured. Just cut it out, and then I'll wait for everyone to finish here, because the next step is sort of complicated. Well, it's not complicated, but you need to bring in another material, and I just want to wait for everyone. So you're going to need, in the next step, you're going to need pins, and like elastic, shoelaces, or like parts of a shirt, or like something that you can use to tie your mask with. Like this is like the bottom of a shirt, an old shirt that you can use to tie your mask. Like Kiran used, you could use shoelaces. I'm gonna use elastic from an old from a disposable mask. You can use elastic from an old mask if you don't have any sewn elastic. I don't have any sewn elastic, so I'm gonna use elastic from an old mask. Well, not old mask, disposable mask.
Can you use thread to tie?
Thread, well, I don't know about thread, because thread is a little thin, and it might not, it's not gonna hold, and it won't be very comfortable.
I'm trying to see what I have. I have this.
That works.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need at least 18 inches of that. But if so, this makes a really big mask, like a mask for adults, like it's a big mask. But I'd say, like, use the amount of cloth that fits your head, like make it tailored to you, because if it doesn't fit, then it's not useful. It has absolutely no effect if it doesn't fit.
Okay.
So if that fits you, go ahead and use it.
Let me see. First, let me see this. That fits. Let's see. If I do it by the ear loop, if I can cut it in half, that'll fit me.
Okay.
I'm doing it back here now.
Okay. Okay. So is everyone done cutting their fabric?
Yep.
Okay. So what?
I'll get some pins.
Okay. What did you say? Okay, so we're going to need pins. I don't have any pins, so I'm just gonna use spare needles that I found, and it's not like the safest thing, but it's good enough because I don't have any pins on me. So what you're going to do is, sorry, my brother just came in. What you're going to do is you're going to take your elastic, shoelace or tie, and you're going to, well, I'm going to cut it off this disposable mask that we're not going to use anymore because, you know, I'm going to cut off the ties. But with shoelaces, you're going to need four clean shoelaces to tie in the back of your head. And with, you know, clothing ties, you're going to need 18 inches of, well, at least, well, that's what the pattern says. I say that, you know, I said this before, make it fit you, because if it doesn't fit, then it's not useful. So so if you're using elastic, you're going to need 7 inches of elastic. That's about the length of the disposable mask elastic. So, and if it's not exactly 7 inches, that's okay too. I mean, it's going to come out the same. It doesn't have to be exact. I mean, we're using our hands. The whole point of this is to make it, you know, look like you did it, because you did do it. You did it yourself. Okay, this one's 7 inches and this one's about the same length. So we're good. So here you're going to take your two, so I'm going to do the one with elastic first because I have elastic. Sorry, I'm trying to make my needles come out. They're sort of stuck. So, okay, you're going to need 4 pins. You need 4 of them, and you're going to need your tie thing, like what you're going to use to secure your mask.
Huh?
You're going to need 4 pins, and you're going to need the material you're using to secure your mask. So with your 4 pins, you're going to, can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're going to place one of your elastics. So this, oh, I forgot to tell you which side you place this on. You put it on the wrong side. The wrong side is the one with the faded colors or the pencil marks on them. You put that one face up, and then you have to attach the elastics. So you take one elastic and put it in the corner of your mask. Then you take a pin and you pin it down. Now you do the same with the other corner and then the other piece of elastic. With your ties or shoelaces, you do the same thing. You need 4 pieces. You're going to need the same amount of pins. You put, the only difference is you put 1 in each corner. Am I going too fast, or any questions or comments?
You're doing a great job, Cora.
Thanks.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay, so you pin the elastic there. So just tell me when you're done and we'll move on. You guys finished?
I'm not using elastic.
Oh, okay. So if you're using the what's it called? The you're gonna put the cloth as ear loops, right? You're not gonna, okay. So you're gonna do the same thing except with the cloth. It should look like this, except you're using cloth.
Okay. Okay. Me. Yes.
And you should have 7 inches of the cloth, but you know, do what feels right. You're going to end up making a mask that looks something like this. This is a very big mask. It will not fit me. It will probably fit my dad or my mom, but I cannot use this. It's way too big. Okay, so okay. Does no one has any questions or comments or anything? But okay, so I guess we're gonna move on. So take your other, oh, hold on, someone put something. Oh, so the link to Kiran's video is in the chat. This is the video of her making the mask, in case you missed something. So just click that link and you can make it again.
How do you pin them again?
You take one pin and you take an end of your cloth and you pin it to one corner. Then you take another pin and the other end of the cloth and you pin it to the other one, just like this. You don't pin it like this because then it'll come out weird. You have to pin it like this. I can actually show you what happens if you pin it.
Are we supposed to keep both of them together?
What do you mean?
Keep both pieces together while we do?
No. Only one piece. You only need one piece, and you flip it over so that it's on the wrong side, or the side with the marks or the faded design or colors.
Huh?
You just flip it to the. Okay, never mind. So you're putting the things on here, and it's only one piece of fabric. The other one should be out of your way. And it's on the wrong side, so the one with the marks or the faded design or faded colors, the side that you want on the inside, not the side that you want on the outside.
Inside now. Put the pins in. There's one. Second one. Okay. Oh. And okay, got it.
Okay, great. So the next step is pretty simple. You're gonna need 4 more pins.
Let me get 4 more. 1.
Need 4 more. One.
Okay.
2, 3, 4. So You're gonna take 4 more. And you're gonna take your second piece of cloth, second piece of fabric, and you're gonna place the wrong side, so the side you want on the inside, right on top of the other piece. So it should be like a sandwich. And make sure that your ties, like what you're gonna use to secure your mask, are on the inside, so nothing is sticking out. Because if it's like this, we're gonna sew it shut. If it's like this, it's gonna be weird and it's not gonna work. So
keep them inside.
yep, keep them inside of the sandwich.
Okay, let me put the top. Okay, got it.
Okay, great. Now pin it down, pin the 2 pieces together
Okay.
like this.
How do I pin it? Do I pin it where the other ones are pinned, or do I?
No, you pin it. You put one on each side. So 1 pin here, 1 pin
One pin there.
here, 1 pin here, and 1 pin here. 4 pins.
1 pin there. 1 pin there. 1 pin there. Wait. 1 pin.
Okay. So when everyone's done,
Another pin.
there we go. All right. So now that we have our pins in here, your thing should look like this with the ties in the middle.
Ties in the middle.
Okay, so you are now going to thread your needle. You're gonna need a lot of thread. So maybe an arm's length thread,
Which I have right now.
or just a lot of thread if you don't want to take any specific measurements.
I have from my hand to right here. Right here.
An arm's length.
See?
Is that right?
See here, all the way down, and then the needle.
Yep.
If I need
That
more,
works.
I have this spool.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're definitely gonna need to thread your needle more than once. Okay, so when you thread it, you're gonna want to take the 2 ends of the thread, and this doubles it so that the thread is thicker, and it holds better. And then tie a knot. So some people get really confused when I say tie a knot. Wrap it around your finger.
Okay.
And then pull it through. And if you can, do a double knot. But if you can't, 1 should just be fine.
I can't do double knot with thread.
Okay. So when your needle is threaded,
Almost got it. Come on. One is in. Second one. And where'd it go? This is hard.
yeah, it's pretty hard.
I'm gonna try.
The threading the needle is really hard, especially when the eye of the needle is really small. Sometimes if your thread is fraying, you can wet the end of the thread with like your tongue, or like dip it in water.
Okay, now what do I do? It's through, but do I just take it off my finger and pull?
Yep, take it off your finger and pull it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take off my finger and then I'll pull. Take off finger and pull. Nothing happened.
Okay, so you might be doing it wrong.
Let me try again. Okay.
So you wrap it around your finger, and then you take the tail, open up the the loop and then pull the tail in. And then you pull it.
I got
There
the
you go.
knot. It's tiny, but I got it. Do you see it? I got the knot.
Yep, I see it.
Tiny, but it's there.
All right. So now you're gonna find a midpoint in your fabric, just the middle of your fabric, and you're gonna go down to the bottom edge. So this is the very bottom.
It's not even. Hold on.
Take out your pin and start sewing. Sew to the bottom left corner. So you should be going this way. So just sew. And you don't want to sew at the very end of the thing. The pattern says 1/4 an inch away, but I'm not going to do any measurements because my sewing is just going to wander closer and then farther and closer.
Yeah, mine's too.
So there's no point. But you want to keep a good distance away from the edge because we're going to flip it out, and if the stitches aren't there, it's not going to work. So you just sew to the bottom left corner.
Do you want me to take out the pin there?
Yep, take out the pin when you get there.
Okay. Let me get the rest of the sew.
I'm making this a lot faster than I did the first 2 times.
I've never sewed this fast before.
Well, the beauty of it is as you go and you learn to do it more than once, more than twice, it becomes a lot easier.
This is my second time.
It might even go to your muscle memory of how to do it. You don't even need to do tutorials or anything. You just remember how to do it without even noticing it.
Like muscle memory. Like it took me.
Yeah, that's what I said. That is muscle memory. Remember?
It took me like an entire hour to learn how to do the whole thing, and it took me like maybe 45 minutes, 30 minutes to film the video because, well, the video is much longer. Like there was an hour, 30 minutes of footage that I just edited and took out most of the stuff. But now it's still a really long video, but it was much harder the first 2 times than it is now.
There we go.
Okay, so once you're in the bottom left corner, you see that you have your first tie, your first securing item. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna sew right through the item, securing it.
So where my ear will go?
Yeah, right through the edge of the tie where your pin was. And that's going to secure it so that it'll come out and it'll look something like this.
I hope mine will look like that. Okay, come on, keep going.
Okay, so you're going to sew through it, but not once. Don't sew through it once. Go back and forth with short stitches 2 or 3 times so that it's there and you're not.
It's there?
But yeah, you're going to go back and forth 2 or 3 times because you don't want it to slip out when you're wearing it.
Okay, let me keep going. Okay, now where is it? Okay, right there. So I'll move away. Okay, let me get that. Okay, here we go. And going in the first part. Oh, that's starting to get hard. Yeah.
Okay, so now that you've sewn through your first point, are gonna go to the other side and just sew all the way around, doing the same thing where you go back and forth at each point where there is a tie.
What if
So-
you lose thread on the way there?
Say that.
What if you lose thread on the way there? Like, what if you have no more thread? What if you have no more thread?
Oh, you tie a knot, cut the thread, and then thread your needle again.
Okay. Okay. Go to the halfway point. Keep going. Do I sew this part? Do I sew this part? The part that my thumb's under. Do I sew that? Because that's supposed to go under my ear. But do I sew that too here or not? No. Okay.
No. So what you're supposed to do is give me 1 second. Let me just pull through here. Okay, so you have your ties sandwiched in the middle right here. You can't really see mine because mine are white. So you have your ties right there. Your strap should be in the middle of your sandwich. And you should be sewing along the edges. So you shouldn't be really sewing the strap at all. And then when you get to this point,
the strap is on the edge. The strap is on the edge. It's on the edge. It's right here. This is the strap, and this is the edge. It's really close to the edge.
That's good. That's good. It's supposed to be close to the edge. It's supposed to be in or around the corner. So that's where it's supposed to be. You're supposed to sew right through that spot and go back and forth a couple of times so that it sticks.
Okay. Go. Come on.
And during
Yeah.
it said in the chat, remember to have patience, and that's absolutely correct. By the way, you guys are doing such a good job that, Nicole messaged me saying that she wished that she had a Girl Scout in her house because you guys are doing such a good job at teaching how to do this. So you guys are doing a great job, and Matthew, you're doing a great job as well.
Thank you.
And so is everyone who is, participating and being here.
Okay, next one. Okay.
Mia, did you have a
Yeah,
question?
I think I had a question. You have a question? Oh, did you put it up by accident? Okay, I'm gonna guess that's yes. Yeah, you said yes. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
So someone just put in the chat, it is completely okay just to watch, and then to, when it goes to post to the YouTube channel, you can watch either of the videos and really decide, if you want to do it by machine or if you want to do it by hand. And so it's totally fine to watch and then, we watch later.
What's the
So I just
YouTube
wanted to confirm
channel
that.
name?
all about Scouts. I put the link in the chat. I can do that again.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. You go there, you go there. Okay. And scratch.
Some of the patterns out there for masks, to me, they like to professional seamstress. Yeah, they probably make tons of sense, but it didn't make any sense to me. So I did a lot of browsing, and I had to go to multiple sites, and I finally found one on the New York Times from like April or May that had a good pattern for a mask. It takes a little bit. That's the pattern that we're doing. Takes a little bit, but I found it very useful and efficient. It didn't have any really confusing words.
I made a mistake.
What was it?
So I'm sewing on the outside, but it's putting the thing, but now it's putting that inside and it won't come out.
Say that again.
So the strap is staying inside and it won't come out because I think I sewed wrong.
The strap is staying in. I'm sorry, I sort of glitched out. What did you say?
The strap is sewing inside. The strap for my ear is staying inside because I think I sewed it inside. Because I think I made.
Oh, it's supposed to be sewn inside.
Oh.
That's how it's supposed to be, because we're gonna, when we get back onto the side that we started.
You just froze.
You're going to leave a spot that's a space that's about 1.5 inches wide, and you're going to flip it inside out. And then everything on the inside is going to be on the outside, and all the stitches won't be seen because they're on the inside.
Okay, thank you.
We're back.
While you guys are doing that, again, Matthew, I just want to say thank you for asking when you were having questions. I think that's really, really important.
Okay. Did I sew it? Oh, I hope it didn't sew. Ow.
Your mask doesn't have to be perfect. Like, no one's gonna see your stitches because they're on the inside. And if you cut your fabric oddly, that's fine. I mean, it's not bad. It's not gonna show at all. Like, this one had so many cuts, like weird jagged cuts in it. It still turned out okay.
Yeah, just like mine. See, mine's is really jagged.
Yeah,
And
it'll turn fine. You won't even see it.
Starting to scrunch up though.
Okay, so when it scrunches up, you want to pull it so that it evens out like
Yeah.
this. Pull it out on all the sides, just pull it.
I think I made the strap too small or either just right, but I just need to, or I need to sew a little, and I need to sew a little bit more onto it.
You can sew onto the strap when we turn it inside out, but now that you're sewing around the edges of the mask, it's going to be really hard to open it up again unless you want to start over and cut it all off. But when we flip it inside out, it's going to be easier to make adjustments to your strap.
Then I'm gonna do when we do it inside out.
Okay.
But should I still sew the strap to the edge?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If you don't sew it to the edge, then the strap will just be hanging out there and there'll be no purpose for the mask. It'll just be like this mask. You can't put it on your face because it'll just fall off.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need more string. Okay, let me put these back in here.
You finished?
No. I'm trying to put this back in without it going out. Let me do the side. Sideways, 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 sideways. And sewing.
I'm just there by the door. I'm probably gonna get in.
All right.
Put it on the table.
See how we do that.
Okay.
Another website that I looked at for the mask pattern said short stitches, not long stitches. I think short stitches works. They work because when you do long stitches, I mean, they do cover more ground, but I think the shorter ones are a little more strong because a little goes a long way. But yeah. That's really it. I was just trying to fill the silence.
That's actually really good to know, Cora. So that's a good tip.
And you don't, well, a running stitch, that's the stitch.
Big brain.
A running stitch, which is the stitch that we're doing. It's like, you know, up and down like classic sewing stitch, but you don't have to do that because it'll just take forever. So you put the needle in and you bunch up a bunch of the fabric, and when you have a bunch of it, you pull through and it goes faster. These don't exactly make small stitches, but they do make it go a little faster. maybe after this, like, you know, after, like, if I do decide to make more masks, maybe I'll buy some like actual fabric from like Michael's or a craft store, and I can make more of them, like not just light blue ones, like one with fun patterns, like I don't know, something. Okay, so I don't know if anyone's here yet, but I'm here, so I'm just going to say this. When you get to the side that you started on, you're going to measure from your starting point 1.5 inches, and you're going to take your pen, pencil, or marker thing, and you're going to mark 1.5 with a dot or a square, and that's going to tell you to stop. You're going to stop sewing right here. Because we can't sew all the way around.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
If we're going to flip it inside out, because we're going to need a spot to flip it inside out.
Wait a minute.
So when you get back on.
Are we supposed to not sew the other side? Are we not supposed to sew this side? Or are we supposed to sew this side and then come back here to the
Okay,
side?
so we're supposed to sew. Hold on, let me do this. I'm a little dark because my windows are here and there's no windows here. So the light, the fabric. So you're gonna sew all the way around, but when you get to the side that you started on, so that's here for me, you're going to take your ruler, measure out 1.5 inches, and mark it with a dot or a square or something that's going to tell you to stop. Like that's going to say, you know, you're not going to sew there anymore, because we're going to need a spot to flip it inside out from, somewhere to turn it inside out. You do sew that side though, you just stop there.
So I stop on this side, but I don't sew the other strap.
No, you sew the other strap. You need to sew the strap.
Then I'm gonna need more.
Am I confusing you, or is
A little
this
bit.
okay? Here, I'm gonna try.
Going out.
I'm gonna try to clarify a little bit. Kiran, do you have a question? Or no, I saw a little white hand there. That might have been me. My bad. That was me. Sorry. That was my thingy. My weird. So we're going to. So if you started. Hold on. I'm gonna turn.
Let me see if I can get one.
If you started right here, you're gonna sew all the way down, all the way here, all of this side and this side and this side, and then you're back on the side that you started with. But you're not going to sew all the way, because
I started right here. Right.
Okay, so if you started there, you're gonna go down. No, sorry, my bad. So this is a little confusing, especially when we're doing it online. So I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to give you the link to New York Times thing that I was using, and you can check out that step for yourself. It's a little better when we do that.
I am cutting this now because I have to make it to a knot.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to, if you, let's say,
How do you make a knot if you have a little bit of flap. If you have this lift, how can you make a knot to keep sewing?
Okay, so that is something that that's a mistake I made once. Hold on, give me a second. Sorry, someone just sent me something. So you cut off exactly at where your needle was, and then tie a knot like you're tying your shoe, like the base you start off, like just tie that knot.
Okay.
It's gonna be a little hard, but that's how
Yeah,
you're gonna do it.
Oh, it's already hard because it's so small. Come on. Okay, this is hard. Come on. Okay. Oh, gosh.
Okay, so let me see if I can make this better. If you start, this is your fabric, and you start right here. You're gonna sew the rest of this way to the left corner. Then you're gonna sew the whole left side, all of the top side, and all of the right side. Then you're back at the bottom edge where you started. But when you get there, you take your ruler and measure out 1.5 inches from where you started. So that is right here for me. Then you sew with your needle and thread up to this point right here. Then you knot it off and you're done.
Okay, hold on. Still trying to tie this knot.
Yeah, it's a little hard when you don't have any thread left. One thing you can do is you can leave the knot there, like you don't need to tie a knot. Thread your needle and then tie a knot in the last loop that you did.
Okay, first find the needle. Lost the needle. Yes. Needle's so small.
Yeah.
That you can lose track of it until it pokes you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look inside the fabric.
I used to sew in an after school club in the office of my of the director of the school club with, never mind. And other people used the office. So if we left needles on the floor, someone would step on it with their shoe, and then we'd have to change our spot for a little bit so that they could find their needles. I mean, our needles, or throw them away or something. I don't know. I forget what happened to the needles, but we had a lot of needles.
Yeah, if it's a club. Okay, let me put it through.
Well, it wasn't exactly like a club. It was more of like a program, like an after-school program. But it wasn't, there were other people in the after-school program with us. So other people used the office at the same time as we did. So if we left the needle on the floor,
Okay, go through the hole. Come on.
That was like an enrichment.
Yeah, sort of enrichment. It was like an after-school thing. It was more of, so it was called X Day. It was like aftercare, and they did things after school, aftercare. One of the things was sewing.
My school has aftercare if our parents come late, we have to join aftercare.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is gone, and they're the only people left because the parents who signed up for aftercare maybe haven't picked up everyone, so we had to join aftercare till I had to join aftercare till my grandfather picked me up.
Okay.
Has everyone who's sewing with me, have you guys sewn up to your mark yet? Like, have you finished that step?
I just put the thread in the hole in the needle. Not yet. I'm gonna get a little bit, a lot this time. And I'm going to cut. Cut right there. Okay. Got it. Now where is, okay. Alright, now I have to put you down to put this back.
Tamika says you guys are doing an awesome job.
Thanks.
And for those of you that also don't know how to sew, this is a really cool part of this really cool opportunity is that when you guys have your vests or your uniforms and you have your badges you have to sew on, you will now know how to sew.
Yeah.
You can sew your badges on.
My badges that aren't on there. I've literally no badges except my pack number and the other badges that are, I think, supposed to be on there.
Well, for Cub Scouts, if you have, you could put the fun patches and stuff on what's called a brag vest. Or you could put them on, I've seen people put on different things like blankets and stuff. For Girl Scouts, it goes on your vest. It goes on the back of your vest. And it's really important to be able to learn how to sew your patches because a lot of the times when you iron them on, you run the risk of them falling off, right? And those are a big part of, what you earn in scouting is patches and badges. So
I literally have a
important to use
whole
the
tin of, patches that have fallen off, and I haven't been able to sew them back on because I don't have, well, I could do it now, but I just haven't sewn them back on. I have a big thing of patches that have slowly fallen off the bottom of my closet over the years.
If you need safety pins, let me know how many you need, and you can also safety pin them temporarily while you're sewing them on. If that's helpful.
We have, my grandmother knows how to sew, and she bought so many pins. I don't think I'll need any. Look at that, so many. It's a lot of pins. So.
Okay, so are you guys done yet? Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next step. It's a quick step, so even if you're not done, you should be able to catch up pretty quickly. So you're gonna put your fingers in this hole that we've left open, and you're going to feed the inside and into the hole, and this is going to turn the entire thing inside out. So it's gonna look real weird in the beginning, but you can shake it, push with your fingers, take your pen and push out the corners. You can take chopsticks if you have them, dowels, you can just any stick thing. You can just put it in the hole and push. Because you sort of want the corners to be out, because when we sew, it's gonna affect it if your corners are not out there. Okay, and this hole that we've made here, The pattern says to sew it up. But if you want a spot for a filter, which I strongly encourage you to have, you should leave it open.
I should leave what open?
This hole, when you turn it inside out, the pattern that I used says to sew it up, but I strongly suggest that you leave it open if you want a spot for your filter.
Are you gonna make filters? Because I don't know how to make a filter or where to get one.
We're not gonna make filters. You can buy a filter and put it in there. Like a filter is like, you know, something that you put in your mask to help filter out
Where can you buy filters?
the bad stuff. You put I don't know about anyone else, but my family, we put the filters in masks that are a little thin, like on the thin side or something, or like one that has a hole for the filters. Like if we do want to put a filter in there, we open the hole up and we slide one in there.
Where can you find a filter?
Well, I don't specifically know, but I'm sure you could find one on Amazon or okay, so that is not the only store I know. That's the first one that popped to mind.
Walmart.
You can find filters in a lot of places.
Target.
I'm sure you can get one at Target, like Kai said, CVS. They sell filters in a lot of spots now because a lot of people. Geico.
Geico sells.
No, I was joking.
Nicole says you can use coffee filters. Kiran, if you want to come off, you guys can come off and say it too.
I'm in.
You can put paper towels.
Yeah, you can put anything in there that really, helps filter out.
And
The
Geico is a
stuff.
car insurance company.
No, not just a car insurance company, a home insurance company.
Oh, so progressive.
But they're an
Progressive
insurance company.
Car insurance company.
The coffee filter one is a really good one. The nice thing about those is that you can buy them in a big pack, and it's usually fairly cheap. So that's actually a good one to do.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I've never needed to buy a filter before. Because I've never made a mask.
I haven't made a mask before. I've never made a mask before. Well, especially a mask that's worked before last night. This is the third mask I've ever made. It's turning out much better than the first two. Much better. I'm very surprised.
Wow.
And I'm actually really surprised I memorized the steps. Like I'm not reading from a website. I don't have a paper here. I've just memorized them.
That's cool.
Okay, so when you're done sewing around the edges, I've already done this. You flip it out, feed it through the hole, and you flip it, and you should get something like this. It's not a mask yet. It's really just a piece of cloth with stuff on it, but it will be a mask. We're almost done.
Hey, Cora.
Mhm.
It just occurred to me. So if you're taking the loops off, right, and to put it onto the mask that you're making, could you use the mask that you took the loops off of and use that as a filter too?
This,
Mhm.
I guess you could. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a mask. People wear this everywhere. People wear this in surgeries. Most people survive that. Yeah, yeah, you could, I mean, you might need a bigger hole, but you could do it. This mask does this is a normal surgical mask. I have this in hospitals. You can buy them like everywhere. Well, almost everywhere. But like this is a good mask. Like you could wear this inside of this, and it acts as a filter. That's a good thing that you just said. I didn't think of that.
Well, and Dorina, you said something actually really important. Did you want to come off mute and say it, or do you want me to read it?
No, I can say it. So yeah, Victoria, that's actually a really good suggestion because, now we're being asked to kind of double mask by wearing the disposable mask and then the cloth mask. And so if you just put the disposable mask portion into the cloth mask filter part, if I explain that right, then that kind of is a way of getting that extra protection.
Okay.
That's a good idea because then it's reusable. You can take it out and wash it and put it back in again.
So has everyone flipped it inside out yet? Matthew, are you still working on the sewing around the thing, or have you flipped it inside out?
Not yet.
Okay.
I am on the last side with the last strap, and then I'll be done so I can do the other side.
Okay. If you're on the last side, if you're on this last side here, you need to leave a hole open. So
Yeah, I'm leaving the hole from where, cause where I started to where I'm going to finish, there's a whole gap.
Okay. Okay, good.
Don't tell me I'm gonna need to rethread again.
If anyone else is following, for the next step, we're gonna start making the pleats. This is second to last step. We're almost done. We'll be making pleats. So it'll end up looking something like this in the end. But yeah, and I sort of like having the thread hanging out because it shows that, like I made it myself. Like the stitches, the bad stitching, it just shows that, like, I made it myself. The knots, yeah, I made it myself. It's not like a professional mask that people make in factories or whatever, but like this isn't bad. It's not bad.
Format.
It looks great, Cora.
I made. Like, this is the mask I made.
Yep.
You like it? I made it by myself. Really trying. Okay, keep going down, go down.
Okay, I'm gonna try to fill this awkward silence because it's awkward and no one really likes an awkward silence. It's awkward. So I'm just gonna go along with the topic of making it yourself. I made a scarf. I started making a scarf in 3rd grade, I think, and I finished it last summer. Yeah, it's like it was more of an on and off thing. but I finished it. And when I was in 3rd grade, I pictured myself wearing the scarf to school, and someone was going to say, Cora, what's wrong with your scarf? I said, oh yeah, well, the hole is me and I made it myself. So I'm going to wear this because I made it myself.
I think when I was in, pre-K4 or 1st or 2nd grade, I actually, where did it go again? I actually made my mom a green pillow, and I made my grandmother I think it was a red pillow with different color hearts on it. My mom's suit was green with a pattern. Because at that time, the person who was babysitting me had fabric that had decoration.
Yeah, I've made a pillow before. It's called a 9-patch pillow, because it has 9 patches on it.
Wow.
The name explains itself.
That must have been a big pillow.
Well, it's a normal sized pillow, really. It's not.
So Cora, I just want to check in with where you guys are at. So it looks like you guys are pretty close to finishing, right?
Yep.
I'm trying to find the needle again. I lost the needle.
Oh, that happens. So when you guys are making these, don't forget, if you're taking a picture, you can email it to me at gstroop5823 and I will show it to the girls. You can also, if you have questions for Cora or Kiran, then we can go ahead and get those answered by them. The video is going to be up on the YouTube channel. For if you type in All About Scouts, you'll find it. You'll find the YouTube channel and you should be able to see the videos from there. And then also, if you take a picture and you want to share it, there's the Facebook event I put in the chat. You guys can post a picture there, or say you have your own Instagram and you want to post it there and just do the hashtags All About Scouts and then hashtag mask for medical heroes so we can see it. So again, the girls can see. If you're local to the DC and Maryland area, we are actually you guys, after you make them, you can get them donated or you can buy them and donate them. And you can drop them off. I'll put my address in the chat so that way you can drop them off at our house. And Cora and Kiran, you guys will be donating this to first responders, correct?
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
So far, we have one hospital that we have that's accepting masks. What's it called? Ann Angel, I think.
Yeah, I think Ann Angel something.
Yeah, yeah. That hospital is accepting donations. So if you want, you can donate to them, or you can donate to us and we'll donate to them or something like that. And the link to the YouTube channel is in the chat. So all the videos will be posted there in case you missed something, like if we were going too fast or something. Speaking of that, I'm gonna move on so that we can, sort of get this moving. So we are, so you should have, if you've been following with me, you should have something that looks like this, a big square with ears. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make pleats. These are a little complicated, but it'll make a mask that's a little bit, more tailored to you. So how we're gonna do this is, I had so much trouble with this. So I'm gonna stand up and show you how to do it. So we're gonna pinch from the top and pull down to the bottom, but we don't want to pinch like directly from the top. You want to pinch sort of from the top and then pull to the bottom and then pin it so that it doesn't slip. I like masks with pleats. I don't know why, they just feel better.
And not all masks have to have pleats, right?
No, they don't have to have pleats. If you don't want pleats, you're good to go. Like you don't need to sew anymore. But if you do want pleats, I don't know if you can hear that. That's my dog screaming in the background. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's just not feeling happy. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. If you don't want pleats, you can move on. Like you're done. But if you do want pleats, stick around. Sometimes you make your first pleat and it's too big. If you have like another strategy to make pleats faster, just feel free to use that. I mean, like this isn't the best. So, yeah. After this, we're gonna do 2 laps around the perimeter of the mask, 2 things of sewing. So that we can secure the pleats and make sure everything is okay. And, just there. You don't want anything to slip out.
I'm still sewing the last side together.
Okay. Tell me if you have any questions and I can guide you through if you missed something.
Okay.
This is step 7 out of 8, I think. I don't remember exactly. I'm very surprised I've gotten here without looking at the thing.
I don't think of mine. I want pleats. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, pleats. You want pleats or you don't?
No, I don't.
Okay. That's
So
cool.
when I finish this, I'll be done.
Yep, you'll be done. And
that 6 and 7, I'll be done.
you just have to flip it inside out and then you're finished. Oh, no. Flip it inside out and then you have to sew along the perimeter.
Yeah, and then I have to sew the rest, right?
Yeah, then you're finished. You just have to sew along the perimeter of the mask. I know, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, right now I'm almost at the strap. I'm not quite there yet. Okay, this is hard.
It's a little difficult.
I think I made the strap is small. I think I definitely made it too small. I'm gonna have to go with it till I finish this. Wait a minute. Huh? I'm confused. Oh, silly me. I started where I began again where I started, which I have to take it all out and do it on the other side. Silly me.
It's okay if you mess up, but I'm talking about the pleats right now. So if you find that your first pleat is too big, because this is not a very wide piece of fabric, you will need to readjust. But that's okay. It took me a little bit to find a good balance. But yeah.
Okay, now I gotta redo this. Okay. I'm almost done.
Good.
This is my second to last threading. Oh, my hand's shaking. Oh, my hands are shaking. So scared. Come on. Uh-oh. Why'd they have to make this so small? This awkward silence.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for put this thread into the hole in the needle. I can get finished.
You got this. You're doing a great job, Matthew.
Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, man, I missed again.
See, when one of my children made one of their first masks, they weren't able to get the pleat quite right, which was fine because it gave it character. So don't worry about getting it perfect.
I'm not doing the pleat. I'm trying to get the thread into this needle. Okay.
Sometimes what helps is if you lick the
I already tried
the thread.
Oh, one end.
You might need to switch to a bigger needle, one with a bigger eye.
I don't think I have a bigger eye. But don't worry, I got it in. Got it in. Okay. Don't really need that much. At least here. I didn't get a lot since I don't have a lot left.
That's okay.
Underestimated, really, because I also have to tie it, which actually takes away.
So Matthew, when you're going to put it, to sew it, what you can do is if you go from where the last stitch is, so say that the last stitch was basically like just do it in the middle of that last stitch. Do right when you start this round, just put that last stitch straight through. So that way it can kind of basically reinforce that last stitch so it doesn't come apart.
Okay. Yeah. I've been putting it like where that last stitch was, like exactly where I stopped, so we could keep going. Like I never stopped.
You are a pro.
Even the best girls can take them down.
Sorry, that's my grandma.
No, it's okay. You're good.
Okay, here we go. Last thing. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. And put it in. Pull. Keep going. I'm doing it. Almost got it. Sorry, I'm not sewing the strap. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was sewing the the strap, but I'm not. Thank goodness. Everything would be ruined. Everything. I have to do it all over again. Okay, what happened?
Once you've, this isn't specifically from you, but once you have your pleats in and they're held in with the pins, what you do is you pick a starting point. I'd say start next to the hole where you're gonna put your filter in if you want one. And you just sew with a running stitch, which is like the up and down stitch, like the classic thing. And you just sew all around the edge of the mask. And when you get to one of your pleated areas, you need to like, you know, well, you don't need to do anything. It's just a little thicker. So just a heads up. You can use your ruler or the table, or you can use a thimble if you want, because some, you know, like, you don't want to hurt your fingers. Go on. Go on. There we go.
Okay, almost got it. A little further. Ow. I'm
can do it.
I'm getting multiple pokes while I do this. Where'd the thing go? Here.
Oh, and when you're sewing around the edge, you don't want to take out your pins before you get all the way around in a circle once, because then your pleats just become all wonky and not great.
Things are scrunch up again, and I can't unscrunch it because I already sewed that part. There we go. Come on. Starting to scrunch up again. Do you know why it scrunches up?
Well, it scrunches up because you're pulling at it, and you're sort of like pulling the string like with a scrunchie. The reason it's a scrunchie and not just a piece of fabric and elastic is because the elastic is smaller and more tighter than the fabric is, so it scrunches up and it's like a hair tie. So that's why your thing is scrunching.
Just said.
Could be wrong.
Just said. I didn't understand anything you just said. The only thing I understood was scrunchy, scrunchy. It's the only thing I understood was scrunchy.
The reason your scrunchie bunches up is because the elastic is tighter than the fabric, and it's sort of pulling at the fabric, making it tight, and it scrunches up like a scrunchie.
Yeah. Kind of.
For the sake of time, I'm only going to sew around the edges once, because we're sort of running out of time. But yeah. And you can watch whatever you missed on YouTube.
Okay.
if you want to come closer to the camera, we can't really see what you're doing. There you go.
Okay, I just finished stitching. Now what? Do I turn it inside out?
Yep, you take the hole and feed the insides through the hole and pull it inside out, and you can use a pen, chopsticks, a dowel, and
What?
just to push out the corners. You want the corners to be pushed out so that you can so that it's like a big square.
Okay, let me. I think the chopsticks.
Oh, you can just use like a pen or something. You don't specifically need chopsticks. That was just a suggestion.
Chopsticks are, you could put them in your hair afterwards.
I have a skewer. I got a skewer.
It's good.
Okay.
Now, it'll just help push out the corners a little bit.
Okay.
It won't be perfect.
Okay. Totally understand. But I think it's starting to come off.
The great thing about this too, you guys, is that after you guys get used to making one, the first time you make it, you have to really kind of pay attention more to what you're doing. When you get to the second one, you could literally be like watching TV or listening to music or whatever as you're doing it. And so that's like the really cool part. So the skills that you're learning don't just apply to just making a mask, of course, it applies after that.
My mask is starting to come up. My straps are starting to come apart. Both of my straps literally came apart while I was flipping it.
I guess you could sew them back together. I mean, it'd take a little bit, but you could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I really don't know where it went because I have to push the sides out because they really don't want to come out. They really don't want to come out. Okay, I got you out. Oh, there's a hole in my stitch.
I finished making my mask with Kiran. So I got
Good
it all
job, Amara. I'm proud of you.
Ooh, it looks good.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the color. Let's get it otherwise. How are you guys doing on yours?
This is really hard. Look at this. It's literally unsewed. Look at that. This is the strap that is supposed to go like this, but it unsewed just like the other strap. They both.
You could put it back on.
Huh?
Yeah, you can sew it back on, Matthew. Yeah.
I can do what?
Yeah.
You can sew it back on after you're done with doing the other part.
Yeah. What's the other part?
Yeah.
What's the last step?
The last step is, well, if you said you didn't want any pleats in there.
Yeah.
So the last step for you would be you sew around the perimeter. So like you sew around the edges of the mask, and then you're done.
And do what?
You sew around the edges of the mask, and then you're done. Just to secure it one last time.
I think I sew around the edges.
Give me that thread. You need it.
What do you mean by sewing around the edges?
Like, do one last thing around the edges of your mask, just to secure it on the outside.
So around the
to reinforce it.
Yeah, around the whole mask.
So I'm gonna need a lot of this. I'm gonna need a lot. Where's my needle? How do I keep losing the needle?
I do that every single time. Matthew, you are not alone in that.
Make sure you don't sit.
It's like
You could put it in the spool
blends into the background. Like it's so small, it blends into the background. If you're like far away, you would never know there's a needle there. Until you like,
Cora,
yep. Hi.
so Cora and Kiran, I have a question for you about how to take care of the mask. So if you're making a mask for yourself, you know, the first one or two, like you definitely, like if you are keeping that mask for yourself, how would you take care of it? Like you want to just throw it in the washing machine? Do you want to hand wash it?
Well, what I do is, my dad, he puts them in the washing machine. But granted, we used a lot of masks, so he just puts all the masks in with all the clothes. But there might be other ways that other people prefer to handle their masks.
Do they? Does he put them in the dryer, or does he he hang them up?
He puts them in the dryer also, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure on that.
I know I do.
So I've
want to put it
never washed a hand.
Because it might
go ahead.
Might burn if it gets too hot in the dryer, you know.
Cora, we can't see your face.
Okay. I've literally never washed a handmade mask before, but my mom, we do have a lot of cloth masks. Like there's literally a whole basket just for us, like me and my brother outside my door. But we do have a lot of cloth masks. And what my mom does is she does something like Kieran's dad does. My needles keep sticking to my computer. It's really annoying.
Oh, it's the magnetic part of it.
Yep. Yeah. So she puts the masks. When we go outside, we put our masks in her hamper with, you know, all the other stuff, and she washes it with, like, you know, like colors, darks, whites, colors. She washes it so that, you know, it doesn't bleed through, and she just washes it like it's a normal piece of clothing. Like there's no special treatment or anything, just fabric. Yeah, she puts it in the dryer.
Huh.
Like, I bet if I went to my dryer right now, I'd find at least like one mask in there.
Really?
Probably. We use masks a lot. Like we go out a lot places.
And y'all have more than one mask for each person?
Yeah, we have tons and tons of masks.
That sounds like a waste of masks to me, but that's
Yeah, it's actually important to have more than one mask at a time, because that way, because if it gets dirty, then you can put it into the wash, and depending on where you were, you kind of may go, you know what, like I'm gonna take this off and I'll wear the next one tomorrow. Because remember, you're going outside, and the whole idea behind wearing the mask is to protect you and to protect other people from, you know, getting the virus. And so part of that is, you know, when you come home, you can take the mask off and put it directly into the wash. So some people only wear one mask a day, and then they just throw it in the wash.
I only have one mask. I don't really have more than one. Now my stepfather, he does, but he doesn't really use one. He doesn't really use them. He really uses one of them, I think, until I think he wears it out, and then he buys a new one.
Yeah, you should be washing your mask every day or every other day.
I think my stepfather had 4 masks, and now he only has 1.
The tie masks are actually pretty easy to put on and off.
Yeah, those still look good. I wish I could wear mine, but my straps fell off.
It's okay. It's all a process. You're doing great.
You'll learn how to make it better, you know, like not make your straps fall. It's like a process.
The only thing I really know how to sew is pillows, and I think I can sew book covers.
Oh, I can sew a I have a needle book right here. I never use it, but I have it. This is like my favorite. Oh, well, I don't have any needles. These are my mom's needles. This is my favorite stitch. I love it so much. I don't know why. It's called a Japanese binding stitch. They used to bind books like this back in like ancient times. It's really fun to do. I love it. I don't know why.
Wow, that looks cool. That looks really cool.
So you got a history lesson too.
Yep. And I don't even have school today. I got a history lesson and I don't even have school today. It's supposed to be on vacation until tomorrow.
Okay. Where was I? Right there. So just
I have a quick question.
go
I
ahead.
have like 4 people left.
Okay,
well,
so some of them some of them had, were like, okay, I'm gonna do it on the sewing machine. And I think at one point, Cora was like, this is the last step. If you, need to go, it's okay. Like, so like, I think that some people got the major steps between both that they needed, and that's totally fine. And we let them know that the YouTube video would be up as well.
Yeah, so if they do want to check, like if anyone's still here, if anyone here was here just, to learn on a sewing machine, you guys can go now. Like, if you have to go, you can go. Like if you do want to learn on the, just how to sew it by hand, yeah, it is on YouTube. But
all about Scouts. Yeah, I actually, as soon as I saw what it was called, I actually went on my tablet and subscribed.
I subscribed and I turned on the notifications because
I find the notifications though.
It's okay. So this video for them doing it together and showing the step-by-step will be uploaded this afternoon.
Oh, this afternoon?
Yeah. As soon as we get off, I'm able to edit a little bit. If I need to.
So as soon as I get off, I will put on post notifications so I will know when you do the link.
Absolutely. And I mean, again, like you had asked me the question about after you take a picture, it's totally fine. You can tag me in it again. Like
I'm definitely going to take a picture and put it and hashtag you on Instagram.
That would be perfect because I could show it to the girls.
Yeah.
And if you make more than, I put the address in the chat and I will email it out. Tim also has my address so he can give it to you if you guys need, and you guys have, even if it's just one mask that you want to donate, like everything is welcome.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a suggestion too in terms of when you guys are putting it in the wash, is if you need to, if you feel like, okay, like I want to make sure like it's really like taken care of in the wash. If you get worried, what you could do is you could put them in what's called a laundry bag that is meant for delicate clothes when you throw them into the wash. So that way it just adds a little extra layer of protection so they don't get as worn out as easily.
Well,
it's not required.
As soon as I do this, I will have one strap sewn back together. There we go. One strap is sewn together.
That's great. Yay.
I finished my mask. It's not great.
Yeah. This will be
Because-
like for someone who has short ears but also has a tall mouth. Cause look at this. Look at this. This can't fit my. Look at this. Look at this. And this is how. And this is where the ear is. See, this is the mask, and then the other strap will be here. You see that? This should be like for a baby. But also look, I had to extend. It had to be extended just so I could wear it.
It looks like
So-
it'll work on you, Matt.
Huh?
It looks like it'll work on you, Matthew.
Yeah, I just have to sew it into the cloth.
So
Remember, not all masks will look exactly alike. So you'll have some that, you know, are like Cora's and Kiran's where they're, you know, they're pleated and they're double layered. Some, I have some masks that, that you've seen, Tim, you've seen them, that are just one layer. And those, you know, can work as well. And then you just put, you know, like Dorina said, you would put the other mask underneath it if you would like to have an extra filter. And this is the laundry bag I was talking about. So like if you wanted to put it into a bag when you throw it into the wash.
If it fits me now that I've secured the strap. Hopefully it works. So I would really like this mask.
So this mask, surprisingly, my first mask is the best out of all of them. But so your mask should come out looking something like this. If you do add the pleats, if you don't, it should look something like Matthew's.
This is the first strap, and it's already too small.
But it doesn't fit me because you know it's huge. But it'll probably fit my dad or my mom or someone else.
It doesn't
fit you. You shouldn't wear it because then there's no point in wearing it.
Yours is too big.
You can always twist your ear straps to make it tighter on your face.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Because I wear like these really small masks for kids, and I never have to do this. In fact, like I sometimes have to find a way to make it bigger or something, because the adult masks are too big and the kids ones are too small.
So now you have one that's just right.
Something that's.
Well, thank you, ladies. That was very informative. I have to run, but thank you very much.
Hi, Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
Is it this Friday? I'll see you.
This Friday is our pack meeting. Yep.
Yeah, bye-bye. I'll see you on Friday.
All right, well,
We'll be sharing the other community service events as well. So, you know, again, if you have any questions, let us know.
This is very hard to sew.
Well, thanks for coming, guys. Very fun seeing this. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
See you guys on the other side. We can't wait to see what you guys make. Ciao.
Okay, Miss Victoria, I'm gonna go, okay?